Hello there. It has been a while since the last 3TP base tour. Let me start off by saying that unfortunately Threefold has stopped playing due to real life obligations, which is fine. He's of course always welcome to rejoin if he wants, and we have replaced him with... Wait, where is he? We have a cat named Fourfold. I don't know where he is. I think Potato has Fourfold in his backpack or something. Anyway, we are now at the end of IV. So let me show you what has changed since the last update. It's a lot. A lot has happened. As you know, IV is infrastructure voltage, so we have done a lot of expansion. And to be honest, it's been so long since the last video that I don't really know what's new and what's not. So let's do a quick base tour and just go through kind of everything. There's some stuff I know is not new, like the B area. This you've seen before. I don't think this has changed significantly. Maybe there's a few new B types, but yeah, Bs. Also, Thaumcraft Infusion is still a thing in here, inside this. There's a little bit of crop action going on, but to be honest, this southern part of the base is not terribly different. Now, if we go back to the central area, there's not much new in the central area. We have a lot more storage now, more CPU power, crafting cores, I mean. All of that is well and good. And our clean room is still here. It's still here. Soon we're going to get circuit assembly lines, and we won't need to use this until biolabs much later in the game. But yeah, this is still here. It's still relevant somehow. Over here on the east side of the building, this is our oil processing. This is finally done. I managed to finish hog. We now burn hog for power. It makes about 0.00% of our power because vac nukes. And right over here is the plat line. Potato and I planned out the plat line and he put it together. So if you would like to watch him put together the plat line, I'm pretty sure he has a VOD for it. But yeah, this is the entire plat line. We have quite a few sifters because these tend to be the bottleneck. We have a little bit of extra space here. I don't know what this is for. Anyway, plat line is done. Across the road, we have some blood magic. We have 2 blood altars. One for crafting and one for storing blood, I guess. I'm actually not sure. I didn't work on these, but yeah, Potato's done this. Potato also has a Mark of the Falling Tower here. We now have a dedicated blasting area with a couple of Vulcani. We are going to need a lot more. Also some megas, mega blast furnace, mega vacuum freezer. These are quite nice. I think they're all at HSSS for now. The next coil tier, if I remember correctly, is Naquata, but we don't have a Naquata line yet. That's on the list of things to do. So that's the whole eastern wing. Over here on the western wing, this literally just happened. As you can see, Potato's right there. He's digging out a large space for some autocrafting expansion. But we'll come back to that. I'm going to let him work on it some more. Over here, we have some EECs. We have an Extreme Industrial Greenhouse, an EIG, and a lot of passive chemical processing here. It may look a little spaghetti, but there is definitely a method to the madness, and I don't know. I look at this and it makes sense to me. So it's consistent across the machines at least. So it's not so bad. This is everything like acids and other random chemicals that are used all around the place. Right next to that is bastnasite and monazite. Potato planned this out and I put it together. This is a line that many people skip and then proceed to complain about not having europium later in the game, but I'm just saying, maybe you should have done the line. But yeah, we are now stockpiling all kinds of nice stuff from monazite and bastnasite. We have a little bit of samarium. I think Potato's been using some for LUV components, but we have some samarium. We have 15,000 europium-3 oxide dust. This is about 6,000 europium, but in order to process this, you need europium to get started. So this is kind of just europium that is locked into this dust until we get our first fusion reactor, which is the goal of LUV, which is coming up. Across the road here is our autocrafting area. This has all the multi-blocks now, nearly all. We're missing a few, like the circuit assembler, distillery, fluid heater, autoclave. These are all missing because we just haven't gotten around to it or we haven't unlocked it yet. We got a giant fluid solidifier. This is good. This is nice. We have an assembly line. This is also good. This is required for all the LUV components. And we have a precise assembler with universal automation. Now, I don't really know how universal automation works, at least not to the extent that I can explain it to you. But the basic concept is you use one machine and one input bus hatch combination, or a couple, I guess, to process every single possible circuit variant. So for example, all the recipes in this column are for circuit 0. All the recipes here are for circuit 1. These are all circuit 2. And with a little bit of clever item shuffling and fluid shuffling, we can get everything done in one precise assembler. And you can scale this. And it's a bit better than dedicating one hatch per recipe, because eventually you're going to run out of hatch space, and also scaling it is more annoying. Universal automation is generally useful for recipes that can have conflicts, or things that have fluids and items like an LCR. LCR with universal is probably one of the best uses of universal, but you don't really need it for things like wire mills and stuff. So those we just have here with individual buses. That's not really a universal use case. I mean, you can. You don't really have to. Anyway, that's a lot of me rambling about a technology I don't even understand. But over here, we're going to massively expand our universal setup. So we're going to have a machine type and a little zone with all of these MEIO port columns. And then we're going to have another machine type over here, and then another zone, and then another machine type, and then another zone. So this is a lot more space because we want to spam machines here for speed. One machine per type is pretty slow. It's been fine until now, but this is where we really want to start scaling. And finally, this zone here is going to be for the Naquata line. Or maybe it should be for the Netherite line. I kind of forgot that the Netherite line exists and that that's something we need to do. Something I need to bring up with Potato. Oh, also, this area here, I just started digging this out like 10 minutes ago. I'm going to expand the passive processing area, and I'm going to do the sand line in here. The sand line, if you don't know, is kind of a secret way to get fluorine. Not really a secret, but it's not covered in any quests. So if you look at the uses of sand or sandstone in a chemical plant, you get fluorite ore. And fluorite ore can be processed with regular ore processing, or at least almost regular ore processing. And at the end of it all, you are going to get hydrofluoric acid and some other stuff, but we don't care about that. We're doing this for the hydrofluoric. I've heard that this is really good for fluorine. Potato's heard that it's really bad. So we're going to test it out. But yeah, that's the base. That's where we're at. And now it's time for us to actually enter LUV.